So here in the telescopic suspension, how the Newton's second law is used in order to design the damper. So this rectangular plate, so it is just converted into this circular. Okay. So just imagine there is a small gap between this piston and this cylindrical tube. Okay. So whenever this piston is reciprocating inside this tube, okay, so it will have some velocity. So it is similar to this velocity. Okay, this velocity is given to this plate. So similarly, the piston, it will receive some velocity due to oscillation. Okay. So because of this velocity, fluid inside this tube it will try to flow from this gap. Okay, and this will create the fluid friction due to fluid viscosity. So similarly, as we consider this cross section, so you can refer this same equation. Okay. So this A is nothing but this cross section of that plate, which is in contact with this fluid layer. Okay. And this thickness, it is the gap between stationary layer and the moving layer. Okay. So similarly, this thickness, sorry, this gap, it is considered as a small t. So you can consider any one as a stationary. This tube is stationary, then piston will be oscillating. Okay. So here we can put the value of this gap as a t. A is the total surface area, which is in contact with this fluid. Okay. So this surface area, so this is the surface area of the cylinder. Okay. So you can get this value as, sorry, this is 2 pi r, that is this circumference. Okay. And you have to measure this height for that piston. Okay. So just you can take this as a y. So this is 2 pi r into y. This is the surface area. So you can put this value in this equation. So from these two parameters, that is this height and the gap, okay, you will get the constant value for this particular damper. Okay. If you change the value of t, or if you change the surface area, then the value of constant, it will change. Okay. So this is how the Newton's second law, Newton's law of viscosity, it is used to design the telescopic damper. Okay. So I have just taken the one example for the telescopic damper. Okay. So if you modify this piston by adding these small holes, okay, so the constant value, it will change. Okay, so equation becomes more complex. Okay, because we need to consider the effect of these holes. So this is one general idea how the Newton's law of viscosity, it is used to design the damper, specifically telescopic damper. Okay, so you should remember this equation for the mathematical modeling. The damping force, which is a FD, is equal to damping constant C into x dot. Okay, and this damping constant C, it depends on the physical dimensions of the damper. So it depends on the damper dimensions and the fluid viscosity. Okay. So if you change the viscosity, or if you change the dimensions, you will get the different value of C. Okay. But for this relation, FD is equal to C into x dot. C is considered as a constant value. So depending on the velocity, your damping force, it will change. So if if the piston is moving very rapidly, then your damping force will be at the maximum value. Okay. So how the simple damp vibration model is represented? So in the module 3, that is the undamped vibration, any mechanical vibratory system, if it is a single degree of freedom system, then we can represent by using this spring and damper, that is a one spring and one damper. So this is the mass of the system and this is the stiffness. Any complicated single degree of freedom system, it can be represented like this. Okay. And for this system, we know its frequency, that is the natural frequency. This is equal to omega n, that is equal to square root k by n, or this is square root k equivalent upon m equivalent. So you know the meaning of k equivalent and m equivalent. Similarly, the damp vibration, it is represented as, just we have to add one extra element, that is a damper. So this is spring K and mass M, and this is the extra element, that is a damper. So damper, its constant is a C. Okay. So by referring the previous equation of Newton's law of viscosity, this is FD is equal to C into x dot. So this is fundamental equation for the damper, that is the damping resistance or damping force. So this symbol, so it is taken from the telescopic suspension. So this part, so basically it is a piston, and this part is, this is cylindrical tube. Okay, so symbolically damper is represented like this. So this is your damp vibration system. And this is single degree of freedom system. So whenever you design any damp vibration system for a particular application, okay, so engineer's role is, we should find out the effect of adding damper on the displacement. Okay, so we have to find out effect of the damping on the displacement, or this is called as the amplitude, to be more specific. Amplitude means maximum value of the displacement. So effect of damping on the displacement of the mass of that system. So how we can find out this effect of the damping on the displacement or the amplitude of the mass? So that means just compare both the systems. This is without damper and this is with damper. Okay. Just imagine, by applying some initial force, we give the displacement x only at the initial condition. Okay. So just imagine you try to pull the mass by applying some force. Okay. And you pull the mass by displacement. Let us take this as a 2 centimeter. Okay. and after 2 centimeter, you release the system. That means you release the force. Then mass will keep oscillating or vibrating due to its spring stiffness, okay, K, and due to the inertia forces. So for the free vibration, so that displacement versus time graph. So this is a x, this is a time. Suppose you pull the mass in the downward direction. So just take the displacement initial at this point, and this is your initial displacement, that is a 2 centimeter. At this point, time is 0. You just release the mass. So mass will start the motion to the equilibrium point. After that, it will cross the equilibrium point. It will reach to the positive maximum value. And this motion, it will repeat. So it will become a cyclic motion. So this is the undamped vibration. And this is your maximum displacement. That is called as the amplitude. Okay. So for such type of waveform, we have one equation. Okay. So its equation of motion is like this: mx double dot plus kx is equal to 0. This is called as the equation of motion for the undamped single degree of freedom system. From this equation of motion, we calculate the equation of displacement. That means equation of this waveform. So what is the equation of this waveform? This is x is equal to a sine omega nt, or x is equal to a cos omega nt. Okay. So any one equation, it will give the waveform like this. So only difference is, if you use this equation, then you will get the waveform starting from 0. Okay. And if you use this equation, you will get the waveform which will start from either negative point, that is the negative maximum, or from the positive maximum. Okay. Because for this equation, if you put this angle as a 0, you will get the value x0, because sine 0 is 0. Okay. And cos 0 is 1. Therefore, this equation, it is a plus or minus a cos omega nt. So in order to get this equation, we need to simplify this equation, which is a differential equation. Okay. So this is for the undamped vibration. So similarly, when we add the damper to the system, we know that we will not get such waveform. We will get this waveform. So this is the reducing waveform, and after some time, system, that is a mass, it will become stable. So this is the effect of the damping. Okay, that means if you physically conduct one experiment, you just take the mass and the stiffness, and second system is mass, spring, and the damper, and just try to oscillate both the systems simultaneously. Okay. For one system, you can observe such type of waveform. For second system, you will observe this waveform. So here, by mathematical modeling, we need to find out one equation that will provide such waveform. Okay. So this equation, it will be in the form of either cosine function or sine function, or it will have both the functions simultaneously. Okay. So that is called as the mathematical modeling. So our first step is, we have to find out this equation or similar equation, that is called as the equation of motion. By solving this equation, by using the de operator method or any other method to solve the differential equation, we have to find out this equation, which is called as the solution of the differential equation. Okay. So this solution, it will give the actual vibration response. Okay. So let us see how to construct the equation of motion for the damped vibration. and how to find out its solution, that is nothing but the displacement x. Okay. So it is the mathematical modeling of the viscous damp vibration. So first we will find out the solution, sorry, equation of motion. So this is the simple damp vibration system. So basically this is a schematic diagram. So stiffness is K and the damping constant, it is a C. Okay. To find out the equation of motion, we will use the Newton's second law. So in order to use the Newton's second law, we need to consider its initial displacement. Okay. And then we will draw the free body diagram. So just imagine initially we provide the displacement x like this in the downward direction. Okay. Because of this displacement x, the mass it will get displaced from the equilibrium point. So this is your x displacement. Okay. As the mass it moves in the downward direction, this spring and the damper they will offer the resistance, that is the resistance to the motion. So this resistance it will be in the opposite direction. Okay. So what is the equation for the spring resistance? So this is equal to K into X, because spring force F is equal to Kx, or Fk this is equal to Kx, and the damping resistance Fd this is equal to C into X dot, that is a velocity. So this is your damping resistance, which is a Fd, which is offered by the damper C. This is equal to C into X dot. Okay. And there is, so these are called as external forces. So external forces means these are independent on the mass. Now the inertia force, so it is because of the mass and the displacement x. So as the displacement x it is in the downward direction, we should consider its acceleration in the same direction when we are using the Newton's second law. Okay. For D'Alembert's method, this vector it is in the opposite direction. Okay. So if you refer some of the books, the problems are solved by using the D'Alembert's method. So for the D'Alembert's method, they have used the vector exactly in the opposite direction. Okay. Because the term which is on the right hand side in the Newton's second law, generally it is the inertia force. It is written on the left hand side in the D'Alembert's method or equilibrium method, and therefore we have to consider this vector exactly in the opposite direction when we solve the problem by using D'Alembert's or equilibrium method. Okay. So for Newton's second law, consider the vector in the same direction of the displacement. So this is x double dot, that is acceleration. So it's the inertia vector which is a mx double dot. It is in the same direction of the displacement. Okay. So this is the free body diagram for the damp vibration. from this free body diagram, we should write the equation for the Newton's second law. So that will give the equation of motion. So Newton's second law is your summation of forces is equal to mass into acceleration. So the left hand side, which is a summation of forces, these are the external forces. So we have the external force, one is the kx, second is the cx dot. So both are in the positive y direction. So take this as a positive only. Kx plus cx dot, this is equal to this mass into acceleration. This is the inertia term. Okay. So it is in the negative y direction. So this is minus mx double dot. Okay. So just take this term on the left hand side. So we will get the equation like this, which is the mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx. This is equal to 0. Okay. Now this is called as the equation of motion for damped vibration, single degree of freedom system. And this is a free damped vibration. So this equation of motion, it consists of three forces. So first one is the inertia. So it is the addition of inertia force plus the damping force. And third one is the spring force. And this is equal to 0. So the meaning of 0 is this is the free vibration. Okay, so there are two types. One is the free vibration and second is the force vibration. In the force vibration, we continuously provide the external force. Okay, so that we will study in the next module. That is the fifth module. What is the force vibration? Okay, so first two modules, that is the module number 3 and module number 4, they are totally depend on the free vibration. Okay. Okay, so this is the equation of motion, which consists inertia forces, damping forces, and the spring forces. So now, in order to study the behavior of the system, we need to find out this solution. Okay, that solution is nothing but the equation for x, which is the function of time. So from this equation, we can plot the waveform for the displacement of the mass. So that waveform, it may be like this, which is called as a damped vibration. Okay, so we have to find out what is the exact relation for such type of waveform. So that relation will be x as a function of time. So we have to find out this right hand side. Okay. So now we have the equation for the damped vibration, which is mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx, it is equal to 0. Okay. So basically this complete equation, this is the homogeneous differential equation. Okay. And this is the second order differential equation. So basically this is the equation which is m d square x upon dt square plus c dx by dt plus kx, it is equal to 0. So this is the actual differential form of this equation of motion. So by using the standard methods to get the solution of the differential equation, okay, we will find out, or we will extract the x value, which will be the function of time. Okay. So before we find out this value of x, that is a solution for the damped vibration, just consider the equation for the undamped vibration. So for the undamped vibration, we have the equation mx double dot plus kx, it is equal to 0. Okay. By using the equation of harmonic motion, we have directly used its solution, because this equation, it is similar to the harmonic motion, which is a x double dot plus omega square x, it is equal to 0. Okay. And for the harmonic motion, we know the value of x, which is equal to a sine omega t. And therefore, we say that for this equation also, it will have this similar solution. Okay. But suppose if you want to derive the solution x from this equation of motion, then we should convert this into the differential form. So I will write this as a m d square x dt square plus kx, it is equal to 0. Okay. So just take this term in the denominator. So we will get the equation like this: d square x upon dt square plus k by m into x is equal to 0. Okay. Now we want to find out or extract the value of x, okay, which will be in this format. Either it will have the sine function or the cosine function. So how to find out this value from such differential equation? So there is one method which is called as the d operator method. So I hope you have studied this in your mathematics 1, mathematics 2. So this is a d operator method which will give the complementary function and the particular integral. Okay. So as this is a homogeneous differential equation, it won't have the particular integral. Just we have to find out the complementary function, because this particular integral, it will have the value 0 directly for the homogeneous differential equation. Okay. So how to convert this equation into d operator? So d operator is nothing but the d by dt. Just replace this value. So I will write this as a d square x plus k by m x, it is equal to 0. So if you take x common, so it will become d square plus k by m into x, this is equal to 0. Okay. In order to find out the complementary function, so actually this complete equation, its solution x, just forget about the damped vibration. So I am explaining how to find out the solution of this equation, which is for the undamped vibration. We will use the same d operator method to find out the solution of the damped vibration. Okay. Okay. So for this equation, the complete solution x, it is the addition of x complementary function plus x particular integral. But x particular integral, this value is 0, because this is a homogeneous equation. So it is just x complementary function. Okay. So to find out this x complementary function from this equation, just equate this term directly to 0. Okay. So this is d square plus k by m into x is equal to 0. So to get the complementary function, equate d square plus k by m to 0. So from this we will get the root for the d, okay, or two values of d. So this is d square is equal to minus k by m, and if you get the value, take the square root. So we will have the two values d1 and d2. So this is a negative, so it's a square root, it will become a complex number. So I will write this as a k by m into I. Okay, so I is the square root of -1. So first root for this equation, this is a d1. So it is a positive value, k by m into I, and d2, this is a minus k by m. So basically this is a d1 d2 plus or minus, and this is minus I. Okay, so if you observe this value, so what is this square root k by m? So it is the natural frequency. So this is omega ni. So this is a d1 value, and the second value d2, this is minus omega n into I. Okay, so these are the two distinct root for this equation. So if you have the distinct root, then for d operator method, in order to get the complementary function, so x is equal to x complementary function. So this is equal to, so there is a general equation. So if you have the two distinct roots, so we will write this as a c1 e raised to d1t plus c2 e raised to d2t. Okay, so you can refer any standard book for the applied mathematics. Okay, you will find these solutions. So this is the general equation for the complementary function. Just put the value of d1 and d2. So your complementary function or total solution x, because there is no particular integral. So x is equal to c1 e raised to d1 is omega n I plus c2 e raised to minus omega n I into t. Okay, so now this equation, it is in the exponential form. So we will convert this into the cosine or sine function. Okay, that is the trigonometric functions. So you know the expansion of e raised to I theta. So it is a cos theta plus I sine theta, and e raised to minus I, just replace minus sine theta. So x is equal to c1 cos theta, that is a cos omega nt, cos omega nt plus I sine omega nt, and plus c2, this is a cos omega nt minus I sine omega nt. Okay, so do not cancel out this I, because this term is multiplied by c1 and this term is multiplied by the constant c2. Okay, so I will write this as a, just take cos omega nt common. So in the bracket we will have c1 plus c2 into cos omega nt, and second term c1 multiplied I and minus c2 multiplied I. So I will write here, take I common, take sine omega t common, and in the bracket we will have this is c1 minus c2. Okay, and multiplied it with the sine omega nt. Okay, so this is general form, which is the solution for x. So this complete term, it is one constant value. Okay, we can have any value for c1 and c2. So c1 c2, I will put this value as a constant a. Okay, so suppose we have c1 is as a 2 and c2 as a 3. So c1 plus c2, it will become 5. So 5 is again a constant. So just this addition I will represent as a. So this is a cos omega nt plus this is again one constant value. Though it is a complex function multiplied, but still this is a constant value. So I will write this complete value, which is I into C1 minus C2 as a constant B. And this is sine omega n t. So your complete equation X for the free undamped vibration, X is equal to A cos omega n t plus B sine omega n t. Okay. So this will represent this system. That means if you allow this system to oscillate freely, then it will satisfy this equation, or it will give the response which can be represented by this equation. Now the question is, in the previous module, we have used this equation. X is equal to A sine omega n t.